We already know that parentheses are used to add extra detail or clarification to a sentence, and that they may be held in place by a pair of commas, brackets, or dashes. We also know that commas are used when we want to maintain the flow of the sentence, brackets are used when we add extra detail that stands outside of the main sentence, and dashes are used when we want to completely break the flow of the sentence to draw the reader's attention to the extra information. Let's see if we can apply this knowledge as we work out which punctuation is most appropriate for a parenthesis. Take a look at this simple sentence and the extra detail that I'd like to add. Mars is often called the red planet. Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun. So where should we add the extra detail? Well, the best place is to put it here, just after the word Mars, since that's the subject of the extra detail. We're describing Mars. Okay, let's split our sentence in half here, giving us room to add the parenthesis. Now, what should we use to hold it in place? A pair of commas, brackets, or dashes? Well, since the extra detail isn't really that important to the sentence, a pair of brackets is ideal. I'll add an opening bracket, then just the essential information that I wish to include, and then finally a closing bracket. Perfect. Okay, what about this sentence and the extra detail? Where should it go and how should we punctuate it? Mars is often called the red planet. Mars is named after the Roman god of war. Well, again, we should add the parenthesis after the word Mars, since that's the subject of the extra information. So let's split our sentence, creating space for the parenthesis. Now, what should we use to hold it in place? A pair of commas, brackets, or dashes? Well, I'm going to use dashes this time, as I'd like to emphasise how it got its name. The dashes help highlight this extra detail, almost making it leap out of the sentence. This works well in this sentence, as Mars was named after the Roman god of war because of the planet's blood-red colour. Perfect. Alright, one final example. The moon causes high and low tides. The moon orbits the Earth. This time I'm going to use commas to hold it in place, adding it here after the word moon. The moon, which orbits the Earth, causes high and low tides. The extra detail isn't really important enough to require dashes, but it's more important than just an unrelated fact that might belong in brackets. So instead I've used commas, adding the extra detail whilst maintaining the flow of the sentence. Notice how I needed to add the relative pronoun which. You can learn more about relative pronouns in lesson 233. Remember, use commas when you want to maintain the flow of the writing. Brackets and dashes both break the flow, so don't use them too often in your writing, or it will become difficult to read. Use brackets to add extra information that doesn't require such attention from the reader, and use dashes when you want the reader to stop and really focus on the extra information.